And we went in. We got an hour and a half.
Okay. And these things don't take 3 years anyways.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Good point.
No, start now.
Mac Avenue's being a jerk.
Why?
They called at the last minute with a couple of closets in the contract on their way over here. It's told Shane I have problems with us retaining control of the property.
Oh, you have that,
Thank you. Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
So we're tabling.
All right, okay.
Next month.
Huh?
We'll table it to next month.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm losing track of time. We're close.
You got a couple minutes.
Take a minute.
That's like, Iranian, like real brand. It's a non-negotiable. I don't,
Yes, agreed.
right? Like, you have to.
Right.
There's in there or something.
Yeah,
We don't
like
want
the,
that.
like the Venice, like the 24-hour gym.
Yeah. No, we don't.
Powerhouse gym.
I did
No,
not.
And
Yeah.
back in Grosse Pointe Farm. They can
Yeah.
take us out and.
Yeah. Well, it's non-negotiable, whatever. But each meal doesn't have to give us fixed variance. It's a nice guy.
Yeah.
And, oh, no,
And you wonder who's causing that. There's gotta be one person trying to put his foot in there.
Yeah.
One person. It's not the people over in Europe. I mean, they're happy.
everything.
The guy here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's been-
Is he's the one who lives in the farms? Okay.
Oh. Yeah. I got you.
Something like that.
Yeah.
He
Was sick as the cat puppies on me when we first didn't,
yeah,
literally.
yeah, literally.
Parks and Rec meeting.
Yeah.
We're coming after you.
Yeah.
One lady with her finger in my chest, I go, stop.
Yeah.
You gotta put your finger in my chest. I'm coming after you for what? Yeah. And he couldn't explain. The first time I saw him.
Yeah.
I said, oh, it's funny saying here, Phil. She goes, oh, I'm a friend of so-and-so.
Yeah, bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Money interest.
Yeah.
She said,
He's one of the backers.
Yes.
take
All right.
enough of you,
Get 2 minutes.
and,
I
you, it might be okay, but don't.
No, boy.
But I don't know, let Steve represent it.
Oh, here's Pace, Miss Pace.
That.
Oh, yeah.
Don't take it, you know.
Hey, Sierra, I got my first complaint on the smell again.
Yeah,
Oh, you did?
no, I'm right next door
Yeah.
and I rarely, I mean,
How are you? Fine?
It's Saturday.
You're good?
yeah,
Yeah.
it looks
Yeah.
like that, you know, but I'm telling you, it's not every day, not.
Hey, Eric,
Well, just
can you take some pictures when I?
call him. He also lives on, huh?
Tell them to keep a law.
Okay, I will. Good. He also lives on Hillcrest, down by the cul-de-sac. And he wondered if there's any plans for the beautification committee to decorate the cul-de-sac. Take a look at it. Yeah, Hillcrest cul-de-sac. Yeah, where it ends, Yeah. Hey, he knows, Jake knows where it is. At the end, where it comes and stops. That ends. It's a cul-de-sac.
Not gonna get back.
Would be-
I don't know exactly where it is. Ask Shane.
If we can work it out, if we can't.
I don't think so.
I mean, you know, it's, first day.
Way it goes. It's like, it was going too easy. It was going too easy.
It's okay.
It was so close.
Such a good job.
Well, you know.
Forward for maximum.
Seven.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Grosse Pointe Farm City Council to order. And to begin the meeting, I would like to call on the students who will be recognized tonight and one of their brothers to come please to the podium and lead us in a pledge of allegiance, if you would.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which is one nation under God, indivisible,
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Wood. Here. Councilmember Conrad. Councilmember Ritchie.
Here.
Here.
Councilmember Donovan.
Here,
Pro Tem Soroka. Here. Councilmember Jensen.
Here.
And first, I note, before we consider the minutes of April 13, for those who have reviewed the agenda and are here with regard to final site plan review or the purchase and lease agreement for 18850 Mack Avenue, the former Joanne's building, the prospective purchasers and operations have requested that matter be tabled. And we will take that matter up at our meeting in June. So there'll be no discussion or action with regard to that agenda item tonight, in case you're here for that. Thank you. Next, I entertain a motion, please, to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held on Monday, April 13, 2026. Is there a motion in that regard?
Before we do, Mr. Mayor, I noted two typos. One is a misspelling of a name. If you would turn to page 2, under motion. And that second paragraph, 18330 MAC, Mac should be MACK.
Thank you.
And then bullet point number 4, prepared by Fishbach, it should be Fishback.
FISCHBHBH.
Fishback.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the proposed amended meeting minutes of April 13, 2026?
So moved.
By Councilmember Donovan, is there support?
Or
By Councilman Ritchie. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Next, presentation of student recognition program. Our city council is very, very proud to support, although we don't have control of the Grosse Pointe Public Schools or the Academy or University of Liggett, we want to do everything in our power to assist those who educate our great students. And as the first of its kind in any of the Grosse Pointes, we thought it would be very beneficial to recognize some students who have gone, quite frankly, above and beyond what's taking place in their ordinary academic lives. And we have, quite frankly, 4 great students tonight. One from the Kirby Elementary School and 3 from Grosse Pointe Academy. And as I read your name, if you'll come up and I'll say a few words and how we met you. First, Ms. Jocelyn Syme, a current 4th grader at Kirby Elementary School. Come on up to the podium, please. Next, Audrey Dark. Audrey, come on up, please, if you would. Audrey is at the Grosse Pointe Academy. Sloan Sharafa is here as well from the Grosse Pointe Academy. And Julian, did Julian make it here tonight? So that's all we have. Mr. Julian Wade was also going to be recognized. Let me first start with Ms. Syme, our 4th grader, and then you all can say something to everyone if you'd like to at the end. But Jocelyn was nominated by the principal at Kirby Elementary School and confirmed by the superintendent of schools, Dr. Bishop. Ms. Syme is an exceptional 4th grade student at Kirby Elementary whose leadership and service have made a lasting impact on our school community. She excels both academically and athletically, demonstrating dedication and a strong work ethic in all that she does. What truly sets Jocelyn apart, however, is her genuine kindness and constant awareness of others. As a peer pal, Jocelyn works thoroughly and thoughtfully with our students with autism, showing patience, empathy, and respect. In her role as a member of the safety service, she takes responsibility seriously and leads by example. Jocelyn has a remarkable ability to notice, when help is needed and steps in without being asked. Whether checking in on absent classmates or offering support whenever it's needed, she constantly puts others first. Jocelyn's selflessness is not only consistent, but deeply authentic. She leads with heart, making Kirby a better place each day through her compassion, initiative, and quiet strength. That's Ms. Jocelyn Syme, ladies and gentlemen. You should be very proud of yourself as you head to the fifth grade at Brownell. Is there anything you'd like to say to all of us tonight? Okay. Well, we're really glad you're here. We'll take a picture and we have a small certificate for you as well, okay? And the next two ladies, Audrey Dark and Sloan Sharafa, I was asked by head of school, Tommy Adams at the Grosse Pointe Academy to participate in a program that was called the Amazing Shake. And the Amazing Shake is a program whereby the students at the Grosse Pointe Academy have to go through a series of 25 stations, and they have to give input and ask questions and give dialogue and things, and 25 different questions that they know nothing about going in. Is that right, ladies? And these two ladies came to my station, and the question was whether or not there should be a bike lane on Grosse Pointe Boulevard in Grosse Pointe Farms. Yes, and these were thought of by the headmaster and his team. And the questions were, who would benefit most from this bike lane? What concerns might others have? And how would you balance safety and traffic needs? And to do it on the fly, these young ladies were absolutely fantastic. And when I sat there and heard their dialogue for just 2 minutes, they really set themselves apart from many other students. We had to give some grade. And I've done a little checking in with the headmaster and Bridget Murray, who's on our Parks and Rec Commission. I think she's assistant head of school there. And I can tell you, both of these young ladies, they're also extremely, extremely talented, not only in terms of their academic success, but in their athletic success. Both go above and beyond the call of other students at the Grosse Pointe Academy. They have extremely high hopes for both of you. So I wish that everyone can please congratulate each of you as well on our first student recognition program on a job very, very well done. We're so proud of you. I just want to give you a small token of our appreciation, if I might. Miss Son, can you come forward real quick, please? I'm going to take a quick picture. Okay. But can you stand right next to you? Why don't you hold your certificate there? Right. Congratulations, really well done, okay? Congratulations, keep up the great work. All right, thank you. Mr. Rafa? That please.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You're very welcome, congratulations, okay, well done. Ms. Dar? And we also had one for Julian Wade, who couldn't be here tonight, but we'll get him here at another meeting. And the two ladies from the Grosse Pointe Academy just finished another program, just a little while ago, a presentation that they had with their school. We're going to here soon and more Grosse Pointe students. So thanks all again, very. All right, we have another very important guest here tonight, our state representative Veronica Pace. Representative Pace, I believe that Representative Pace has been representing the city of Grosse Pointe Farms since in our 10th district since 2023. She resides in Harper Woods with her husband Alex, and she's interested in all things legislative, if I've got that right. She studies everything. She's leads by example in the State House of Representatives. She works very hard on our behalf. And what caught me as well is she's a certified master gardener. And we're very glad to have you tonight, Representative Pace, and the floor is yours, please.
Thank you. Actually, I represented Grove Point since, last year before they redistricted us again. So before that, Representative, Kate.
Fair, thank you.
We've been joined at the head points for at least 70 years now. So, thank you so much for having me here tonight. So I just want to give a super quick update about what's happening in Lansing right now. It's one of the slowest legislative sessions we've had so far this year in 2025, just 76 bills signed into law. And with members expecting to campaign this year, it might just stay kind of slow right now. So, legislation, if you have anything you want to talk about or any ideas, every time I go to meetings or coffee hours, I say, did you ever think there ought to be a law about something? And usually people say, no, I'm good. But there's got to be something out there, so please feel free to just contact me at any time. One of the major issues that's going on right now is the ongoing battle over 9 bills that passed both chambers in the legislature during the previous session, but were never sent to the governor's desk. They remain installed in the House Clerk's office, and the case is now in the Michigan Supreme Court. There's already heard arguments on the case, and hopefully there'll be a decision made soon. Right now, we're also focusing on the budget. As you may know, last year, budget wasn't passed until the days after the over about 4 a.m. as I recall. There's a statutory deadline of July 1st where it should be passed. This went into effect, I believe, sometime maybe in about 2018 or so, right around then. But then there's the constitutional deadline of October 1st. So we went over it last year, but again, since this is an election year, I suspect this will be done early, or at least on time. So, let's see. Right now, the budget asks I have include seawall from Rose County Shores. So Senator Hurtel and I are trying to get money from that. And also Wayne County contacted me a couple of weeks ago asking for additional funding for facility seawall. How that plays out. Let's see. So right now, one of the bills I wrote the bill actually last week, or 2 weeks ago. Therapist. She thought that there should be a apprenticeship program. So we've been working on that for a couple of years, and we finally enrolled the bills. I say that to tell you that most people, when we campaign for office, think healthcare or education or taxes, then here's something out of the blue where it's a massage therapist who thinks there should be an education program. So I say that also that when you're thinking about some kind of legislation, I don't think it needs to be something large, a big topic. I can work with you also on something. Don't always consider. So let's see, one of the bills, I was just part of a bill package regarding actually my bill is H House Bill 5742, and it's actually for prohibiting carrying of guns in certain state-owned offices and libraries. So for state peace offices also. So it's actually part of a larger package, actually. Shouldn't say much. Senior and consumer affordability. So this is my House Bill 5. Actually, the AARP come to me with a bill suggested. Right now, I believe it's AAA and another insurance company that I can't think of that offers premium discounts to senior citizens who take specific education driving class. So this would just mandate that all auto insurance companies offer this when the senior reaches a certain age. Doesn't set a percentage discount, doesn't say the variable or price discount. that mandates them that they all offer one. So, let's see, housing shortages. I know you're probably all familiar with the bills that have come forward. You are about, I know there's some, to know that, very much for municipal autonomy. And so when I look at this package, that's what I'm going about. And but there's another bill package also by the MML, which I haven't looked at so much, but I talked with the mayor in Grosse Pointe and a couple of other council person, I can't remember from what city, but they had reviewed this. Was it you, Councilwoman Donovan?
I don't think so.
No? Okay, it might have been another person that, another person from another city. Was in support of the MML package, but I really need to review that further. I think zoning should be left to the cities, see what's best for themselves. So, let's see here in my notes.
Schools of choice, maybe?
Schools of choice.
Thank you.
Where am I on that? Just like them. And let you know. I believe that we should be investing in schools in our neighborhoods. We've got schools of choice. We have the funding going to the school that the child attends. What happens then is that you're not putting money into your neighborhood schools, and there you got the decline of your schools. Not just for the neighborhoods, but the kids. I know when I was a kid, we didn't have a car, we couldn't afford one. There's no way I could have been to the school of choice. I could have gone to another school unless I had some kind of transportation. So I think by having schools of choice here, like I said, not funding your local school, not all kids can afford to take a bus or their parents have a car to go to another school. I just think it's a real deterioration of neighborhoods and of quality education. So just I've talked with a couple of my colleagues. I've got maybe at least 5 colleagues who are teachers, and even they told me that schools of choice, well, there was one actually worked, I think it was in East English Village. She said even if kids had come over here to Grosse Pointe, she said we're gonna help them because there's so many other situations and resources that they need. So that's where I stand on that. You always talk a little bit more. I also want to tell you that upcoming is a constituent services on the road event I do like once or twice a year. So this year it's going to be at Sunrise Body, which is actually over on Moray and Beaconsfield. And there we'll have unemployment insurance agency. If any constituents need to talk about that, they can contact my office or go there. Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. We have Wayne Metro there, Detroit Changing right now. I'm looking at getting someone out there to help with registering voters. Also, Forgotten Harvest will be there with a mobile entry, which is a huge trailer truck, and you can go in there and do your own free shopping. Also, because last month, had some visitors to my office who are with the Grosse Pointe Unitarian Church. And actually, they do some programs regarding food security. And I'm going to be working with them to hopefully later this summer have something for the points regarding food insecurity and having Forgotten Harvest here and maybe some other resources as well. So that's pretty much it for me for the moment. Do you have any questions? Thank you.
Councilmember Wood.
Yeah, very briefly, I thank you very much for coming. It's nice to see you here, and I hope you come back again. It's always nice to hear what you have to say. In February, I was one of the 100 or so local electeds from villages, cities, and townships that met at SunCog's offices during a press conference to protest this idea of preemption for our zoning legislation and zoning ability for us to do. You know, the idea is a noble idea, that is, we want affordability in housing, but the approach to these bills that you mentioned is wrong, okay, period. And 100 or more of us stood there from all around Southeast Michigan region and said so, you know? And so I sincerely hope that you will take a very strong stance against preemption of local zoning powers. Because this is what we do. We know our cities well. And this is a power that we cannot have preemptive. And preemption is not a very good idea anyways. But in my opinion, this is a very egregious situation. So that's kind of my rant on that.
No, I completely understand and I agree with you. And if I have any questions, further questions about it, I'm sure I would reach out to your mayor or.
Yeah.
The city.
Representative, I echo my colleague's comment. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. I serve on the Public Policy Committee of the Michigan Municipal League. And this was, these bills were on the preamps was discussed at length. Of course, it's, you know, you got SEMCOG, you got MML and other people that are at MML doing it. As I understand it, this is not off the docket yet. It's still, you know, has a life. And you have some really strong support on the Democratic side for this bill. There are some Republicans too, as I understand it. But this is something that we really think that we need to have as the Grosse Pointes, as Harper Woods. The Detroit superintendent is very lukewarm to it, if not totally against it, because he feels that it's going to siphon off from his increasing enrollment in the city of Detroit. So there's all kinds of different reasons to stop this in its tracks. You've got a lot of lobbyists that are working with this for its passage. So I understand it's either 3 or 4 bills.
There's more than that,
All
right?
right, well, okay, and now they've expanded it.
So that has, yeah.
All right, but, and what's the status? Are they completely out of committee? Are they up for a vote in the House?
I know the MML bills are government, both packages are in, the MML and the package of both the government operations committee right now. And, so the MML package. I don't remember what these other ones are sponsoring that, I don't recall, but the other package, which we all say, is headed up by Representative Kristen Grant on Grand Rapids. She's actually, I believe, development. So I believe that's gotten a hearing. I don't think they've been reported out any yet for a vote on the floor. I can double check that, but last I checked a couple of weeks ago, it hadn't come further than that.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that that's the package that they're moving on, and I feel less sure that the MML package will move forward up committee. It does have really strong support on both sides of the aisle. Representative Grant is a Democrat. And there are other Democrats who are for this bill. There's a lot about affordable housing, and they see this as a real answer to affordable housing. Myself, I believe in repurposing housing and having programs to keep people in their homes. So I'm on the side of the MML package. I don't know how partisan that one is, but I think there's probably both packages have some kind of support on both sides of the aisle.
Mayor Pro Tem Soroka.
Yeah, I echo the things of my colleagues on when it comes to issues of preemption. And I know as a former city council member yourself in Harper Woods, you know well, and you're not going to fall trap to the problem that I think of so many former city council members, that they drive all the way to Lansing and they forget about what it's like when you're up here. On a kind of separate note, I did want to raise the issue of e-bikes and e-bike licensing in the state. I just read that the state of Utah passed some laws associated with e-bike usage, particularly preventing the usage of bikes that go over, I think it's 25 miles an hour by people that do not have a motorcycle license or some sort of car license. As far as I know, we don't have any laws on the books here in Michigan, and I think that's ripe for some regulation. I think the e-bikes are a great tool. Biking is a great thing for everyone to be involved in, but I have a lot of concerns with young people on bikes who don't have any training, rules of the road, and I especially don't like seeing young people on bikes on sidewalks going 20 miles an hour. And there's very little that we can do on a municipal level without regulation from the state. So that's one thing that I would definitely encourage you to look at. Frankly, I don't think the Utah law goes far enough. As I read it, it basically it has some limits once you get above 25 miles an hour. That seems pretty darn fast. And to trust a 12-year-old with potentially. But I'd love to see the legislature looking into that.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you more about that. I'll check out the law.
Yeah.
I know we had some e-bike legislation last term, but that became more to Mackinac Island.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. This is more about, I think we need, I frankly don't, it's a public safety issue. And I don't understand, I guess, we wouldn't allow kids riding around on a gasoline powered engine like that on our streets. I don't know why, because it's an electric bike, that's okay.
Any other questions or comments for our State Representative Pace? We appreciate all the work you do on behalf of our communities. Thank you very much for coming this evening. We look forward to seeing you very soon. Thanks again. Thank you. Next, if you have your agenda, items 6 and 7, as mentioned earlier, will be tabled until the June meeting. Item 8, I would entertain a motion to recess the city council and convene as the Board of Zoning Appeals. Is there such a motion, please? By Council Member Conrad Wilberding, support by Mayor Pro Tem Soroka. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. 1 minute, please. Let me just turn to the appropriate spots. So, Mr. Cool? With regard to property on Hillsdale, I'm sorry, Hillcrest, Hillsdale. That's good grief. Been a long day. Sir, good evening. Thank you. You are here for the benefit of the public for you're requesting a dimensional variance for property located at 303 Hillcrest for the modification of a detached garage. Do I have that correctly? The floor is yours, sir.
So I'm asking for a 4-foot vertical variance. So. Must. The reason for the variance is the garage is about 100 years old, falling apart. Needs to be rebuilt. It's just over 18 feet wide, just as the bottom end of the 2-yard garage. Can't be widened, because of the parking lot and the patio and house that's, that are right there. And, it can't be relocated to the back of the lot because of the topography and drainage issues. If we're to do that, it would cause issues with neighbors and so the only feasible way to rebuild with keeping the functional utility is to go where it goes.
Have you discussed your proposed modifications plan? Of course, I'm going to turn it over to members of council in a minute. And you afford you an opportunity in public as well. Have you discussed your proposed plans with any of your neighbors, sir?
Yes.
And have you received any opposition from your neighbors, sir? Thank you, sir. Is there anything else you'd like to add before you gave a very detailed packet, by the way. Thank you very much. It was several pages long, answered a lot of my questions. No, really, it was good. I'll start with Councilmember Wood, please.
Hey, thank you, John. Mr. Cool, are you an engineer?
I am not.
Are you a lawyer?
No.
Are you a planning director?
What's going on?
Are this Jeopardy?
Yeah.
I think it's for so I have a degree in chemistry, but I for a consulting firm.
Thank you. The reason I ask you is that I'm referencing your attachment A, your variance justification. So I've been up here a number of years, seen any number of folks come to us. This is by far the best, without question, the best narrative that I've ever seen. You are succinct in telling us exactly what we're looking for legally. Practical difficulty, not self-created, substantial justice, no harm to the neighbors, etc. And you do it in a way that I was thinking, did you use an artificial intelligence application for this?
I used some for research because I went back to the previous meeting minutes with case examples, and then also to find some Michigan. Oh, I'm not an expert in the meeting, so to answer questions.
Right. Well, you would know this because you hadn't come before us before, but many people stumble about practical difficulty definitions. They don't understand what self-created means. You nailed it on every single aspect of your application here, and I congratulate you. And this is really the gold standard to have artificial intelligence LLM to help you in this regard. Brought something to my attention, which I want to talk about a little bit later on. But for the purposes of our discussion here tonight, you need to tell us what is your practical difficulty. So if you could go back and maybe you could read from your attachment A, you can do whatever you want, but just give us an understanding of the uniqueness of your property as you spelled it out. And please tell us the land base, is what you just mentioned, some of the other things that are practical difficulty, but tell us a little bit more about the land base, if there's anything else, and just give us a sense of your practical difficulty and whether it's self-created.
Sure. Well, the footprint of the house and the garage predated living in it. It's not the same footprint. The garage, and where it's located, that's basically saying what one of the garages are, but it's sandwiched between the house and the property line. The vertical, the attic truss of the trusses, I think I can build back, but dimensionally that doesn't allow the garage to function very well. And we need it to function because even though if you've seen the house, it's a relatively new build, it's over an existing foundation. It looks like a big house. And it is, but it's on the original foundation, so it's got a mission basement, and it's also half on a crawl space. So even though it looks like a large house, there is very little storage. And so we need the garage to function as a garage, and this is the real drive here. I mentioned the drainage, the patio. Here, it's the topography. So the drainage, it's not just my yard that causes the water issue, but also the house behind me is a couple feet higher. The house itself drains down a gutter that goes right into the backyard. It's managed because of the grass. It doesn't wash out the landscape anymore. It just settles in the grass and then drains over time. If I were to build up the topography, put the garage in the back where there's space, the neighbors would be flooded. The garage that you can see from the picture would be underwater. And that's just going to create issues for other people. So that's where we are.
And you also mentioned in your application that you found several other homes in the general area
Yes.
that have similar conditions, similar heights and that kind of thing. Could you tell us about how you did that? What that means with the application?
It does stay in line with the surrounding neighborhood. There's dozens. I only listed a handful. I think how I got those, some of them were more recent, so they're on record here. The others just walking the dog and identifying where that was.
Okay.
Any other questions to my right?
I have none.
To my left? Sir, As I started my comments, your application was great. It was detailed, and for Councilmember Wood to not have any real questions. You have I'll leave it at that, sir. Is there any public comment with regard to the request for a dimensional variance at 303 Hillcrest? Hearing no public comment, I would entertain a motion to approve a dimensional variance for the modification of the detached garage at 303 Hillcrest, please. Mr. Wood?
I move that the appeal for Mr. Stephen Poole, owner of the property located at 303 Hillcrest, be granted. Therefore, authorizing issuance of a building permit to allow modification of a detached garage. The variance will allow legally non-conforming structure to be 18 feet, 8 inches in height. All work will conform with the submitted plans from St. John's Associates being stamped. September 2025. In making this decision, the board has reviewed a report from McKenna dated May 1st, a memo from Matthew Baca dated 11, zoning board of application submitted by the owner dated April 13th, and the architectural plan submitted by the applicant. The variance is granted on the basis that strict application of the zoning ordinance would result in a practical difficulty for the user of the property due to the fact that the garage is approximately 100 years old and needs replacement. The existing garage is constrained in width. New building trusses and modern building materials are designed for a taller garage, creating a more functional roof pitch. The existing garage cannot be widened due to site constraints. It cannot be reasonably relocated because the rear yard contains a low-lying area where stormwater pools. The applicant's practical difficulty lies in land-based constraints, not personal preferences or desires. The practical difficulty is not self-created. The applicant's hardships are due to the property itself, should not be regarded as self-created. The extent of the height variance in relation to the ordinance is less than 4 feet. Asking the owner to reduce the building height would create problems with roof pitch and other construction constraints. The variance is in harmony with and serves the intent of and purposes of the ordinance. The variance will result in substantial justice being done because the hardship suffered if the variance is not granted would be significant. The applicant has shown that numerous homes on Hillcrest, Kirby, and Ridge Roads reflect a range of existing accessory garage configurations similar to the applicant's proposed plans. To complete the structural improvements, there are no viable alternatives other than allowing the new proposed building height. There have been no letters of objections from neighbors. No additional government resources will be needed due to this variance.
City Attorney Burgess, do we have a valid motion? Thank you very much. Is there support for the motion of Councilmember Wood?
Support.
By Councilmember Donovan. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you very much again. Good luck in your project, sir. Thank you very much. Next, I entertain a motion, please, to adjourn as the Board of Zoning Appeals and reconvene as City Council. Is there such a motion?
So,
By Councilmember Donovan, support by Councilmember Jensen. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. We have another special guest tonight who Mr. Reside and I think we saw a couple weeks ago at the Grosse Pointe South luncheon that we were at. A trustee from Wayne County Community College, District 1 trustee Roy Edmonds. Mr. Edmonds, good evening, sir, and welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and staff, and residents and guests. This is up here so you can see it. As you know, I have the honor of serving as the trustee of District 1, which includes all of Grosse Pointe, Harper Woods, as well as my colleague here, Dennis Provost, Dennis Kara, Derek, he's the provost, the very own stuff from the University Center, which is on very across the east side. So we're here to present some good news about what the institution, Wayne County Community College, is doing, and we're excited to share it with you. And we've got some visuals for you. Basically, we're going to change up the look of our buildings, change up the look of the campus, because it doesn't have a campus feel right now. It's disjointed, There's a dialysis center in the middle. There's a retail establishment. There's two food enterprises on each end. And what we've been doing over the past year is purchasing a couple of those buildings. We're going to repurpose them, redesign them, give the campus complete total union look so that it will feel like a campus. It will have a clock tower and some really nice amenities. It also will be repurposed on the inside in adding all of this space to allow us to offer more classes, which will be a better environment for our students so they can learn, connect. So at this point, the details are with Dennis, and I'd like to turn it over to Dennis. Oh, and we also, I think it appeared about 2 months ago in Grosse Pointe News, you might have seen it, so you're really kind of seeing the same thing with them.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
City council members, mayor, and administration. So we, thank you, trustee Evans. So Wayne County Community College District is pleased to present plans for the expansion and modernization of the University Center, and trustee Edmonds will show you the other renderings. But this project represents a significant investment in our community and reflects our mission to empower individuals, businesses, communities through accessible and high quality education. This expansion will increase classroom space, like trustee Edmonds mentioned, and also accommodate new and growing programs. Modernize the building's interior and exterior to create a true campus environment and renovate the Vita Dialysis building, which you'll see right there. And it's going to house new dialysis technology program. This program is going to be housed at the dialysis building, and we're exploring other programs that could be housed at the University Center. So this expansion will serve residents across our surrounding communities, creating pathways to careers in high demand fields, and establish the University Center as a welcoming destination where students and community members can learn, grow, and thrive. And trustee Evans, if you could just show them the front of the building with the clock tower. What we're trying to really accomplish is where the campus feels like a true campus environment. Currently, when you pass by the University Center, you see a huge parking lot. Right in front of Lowe's, you see a huge parking lot. Then you see the University Center. What we're trying to do is make it a complex. Combine everything so it looks like a campus and it serves the community like a campus with programs for our residents, for our high school students that graduate. They can earn their degree without ever having to leave Wayne County. And I think that's the whole goal of the project, to make it more accessible for the Harper Woods and Forest Lawn communities. Thank you.
More desirable.
Yeah.
Right.
You create a better environment there. That's what we.
Any questions?
No, we appreciate your time tonight, your involvement. You gave us a sneak peek at it a few weeks ago at Grosse Pointe South and Clemenson Hall. It's great. I think it was very, very well received by other leaders in the community. I'm going to invite any members of the public first, if any in the public have any questions or comments for trustee Edmonds or provost. Hearing that, come on up, please. Of course. If you don't mind, please give your name and address for the record, and the floor is yours.
My name is Rosie Stefano Smith. I'm at 232 McKinley Avenue. And I just wanted to say that I saw this presentation at a school board meeting a few meetings ago, and I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be a great addition to our community to have opportunities for our kids to learn. So this is great. I'm very excited. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you for being here. It's appreciated. Any other public comment, please? Questions from members of council? Mayor Pro Tem Soroka.
Yeah, so I'm just a little bit confused about the orientation of the site. So you have the beautiful new Mary Stemple Center, right? And how does that connect to the new area that you're building?
So you have the kidney dialysis building, which is the yellow building right next to the University Center, right? Right. So you got the University Center, the dialysis building, and then the Dollar Tree, and then our other building, which is the Center for Learning Technology.
Right.
So what we're doing is we're not connecting the two buildings, but we're repurposing the dialysis technology building to serve our programs, the dialysis program. But what we're also going to make is the surrounding areas, it's going to feel like a campus because it's going to have walkways. So the other building is going to have as you can tell here, it's going to have the little benches, the tower, the signage. It's gonna, like any other campus, if you go to our Northwest campus, we have 5 or 6 buildings that serve different areas. It's not all connected, but they all serve a different purpose.
And how does this, I guess the one question is, I know we pay in our tax bill every, I think it's the winter bill. But is this gonna increase taxes in order to do this, or is there any kind of additional fees for it?
No, we're not increasing it.
Okay. And then finally, I'm just curious, I love the center. I think there's a lot of great resources there for the whole community. My only concern sometimes is I wish it would stay open a little bit later for some of the meetings that allow people to have in the building. Is there going to be opportunity for that kind of increased usage for the community?
So right now, we're open from 8:30 in the morning to 9 PM at night.
Yeah, I've had some issues where it's like we had to get out earlier than 9 PM. But
It just, let me know.
Okay, yeah.
If you have any information, let me know. We'll make sure that, we can leave it up a little bit later.
Thanks.
Councilmember Jensen, please.
What are the current security measures you have? Yeah, I wouldn't imagine you have your own police force.
Yeah, we have our own police authority.
So it's patrolled by your local authority.
Correct, yes.
Great.
Councilmember Donovan.
And Mr. Mayor, I just had a comment. You all are so fully engaged in the community, very accessible. I have attended many events there, events that have lasted till 9. I've also attended medical, health classes there. And you all make everything so easy. And both buildings are very, very lovely. And you all run a class act. So thank you for always being available to the communities you serve.
So thank you.
Thank you. To my right. Councilmember Ritchie.
My question is curriculum, as far as the trades and the, auto mechanics and skilled trades, carpenters, electricians. I mean, a lot of medical field stuff, I know that, but there is a dire need for that field in the community.
No, we're exploring additional programs. We have a robust skills trades offering at our different campuses. Our Eastern campus has welding, robotics, mechatronics. So all of our campuses have different programs for skills trades, but we have a robust offering district-wide for skills trades.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from Councilmember Conrad Wilberding?
I think that all of us would agree that we welcome this for Vernon Road. It's almost cement land there with the demise of Eastland. But could you tell me how many students you enroll at this particular campus?
This particular campus. Well, this campus serves also our online student base, and then the in-person students. I know district-wide, I can't give you an exact number for this campus, but district-wide, we serve over 55,000 credit and non-credit students through our 6 campuses.
I think it might be very useful for us, since we do a lot of things with Harper Woods, if we knew what the enrollment base was.
Absolutely.
At some point.
I don't want to throw out a number if I'm not really
Yeah.
sure, so.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Any other questions or comments? Gentlemen, thank you very much. Please continue your good work. We look forward to seeing you again soon and not to be at your center. We'd love to do something there, conjunction with you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. Talking about millage rates, we're gonna know exactly what we pay to Wayne County Community College because our budget committee has looked at those numbers recently. Mr. Rowland, so.
No.
No,
Get out.
yeah, get out quick. Item number 10, public hearing regarding proposed tax millage rates and our budget for fiscal year ending June 30, 2027. Just by way of introduction, Councilmember Wood chairs our budget committee on which myself and Councilman Soroka sit on. We owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to City Manager Reside, to our Finance Director, Tim Rowland, to all our department heads who make this process so easy. We've spent a lot of time so far on reviewing the proposed budget, millage rates and the like. And I think you're going to like what we hear. We're in great shape, and I'll turn it over to Councilmember Wood, please.
Thank you, John. At the expense of stealing Tim's thunder here, Tim always has a wonderful presentation. He's going to give you another one tonight, but I'll mention a couple of items that I feel kind of stand out to me for this year's budget. First, we are transferring to capital funds a great deal of money for infrastructure improvements and equipment purchases. This is a very good thing for us. It's proactive, spending over close to $2 million on items that will improve the value of our community. That's terrific. This council may remember that several years ago, we created a policy that our unassigned fund balance would be, our savings account, our rainy day fund would be between 20 and 30%. We have been that way for many years. This year, again, we're at about 26% of our general fund budget. And that's an asset for us. Overall, our millage rate is proposed at 18.7%. Tim will go into this a little bit more. There will be a slight increase in our tax rate this year because we need to pay off our sewer bonds. Everybody is aware of the sewer project that's going on. It's a $45 million project. We need to pay those bonds back. Okay. And I think finally, the roads fund budget includes about $4.5 million for street resurfacing and repairs. If you've gone up and down the streets these last few days, you'll see that the big orange signs are out, that the men are working, and you've seen our guys out there. So we're on top of our road improvements projects for this year. So having said that, John, I think that I'll just, if I can I give that Tim?
Absolutely. Mr. Rowland, our finance director, please, and then Mr. Reside.
Thank you. So the proposed budget theme for this year is building for tomorrow while delivering today. The budget calls for strong investment in capital improvements, as Councilmember Wood had mentioned. Includes limiting the 2 mills total for sewer separation project, has consistent staffing and service levels across all departments. Assessed value increased by 5.3%. It's our 14th consecutive growth in our monthly value of our houses. Taxable value increased at 3.7%. 2.7% has a CPI adjustment. So houses that are capped in that didn't have a sale will see their taxable value increase by 2.7%. There's a slight heavy rollback of the millage rates. As Lev mentioned, the proposed overall millage rate of 18.74 mils, which is an increase of 1.44 mils per year. It shows you all of our city tax rates. You can see on the right hand side the slight rollbacks in the operating budget. That in senior services millage, and the increase for the sewer separation millage. And the total of the bottom will increase of 1.44. This shows you historically our millage rates from 2021 till now. You'll see on the first 5 bars there, millage rate went suddenly down and stayed the same for 5 years. So in 2026, we had the addition of the senior services millage, which you see in that light purple color. And then on the top of that greenish color is the sewer separation tax. You take those two off, our total operating for the still point out is the increase that's the services, and that's the separation tax. Where does the tax dollar go? So for every dollar of taxes paid here at City Hall, 33 cents goes to the city, 34 cents of it is for the community college, Plain County, and other middle of DIA, the zoo. And 33 cents for the local schools and the library. Total revenue in general fund increasing by $443,000 to $21 million. Primarily increases in the property tax category. Some of the decreases in the other categories like charts for services is due to the pool being closed this summer, so there's less offerings there. This pie chart here shows you where the city gets its money. So basically 77.5% is from property taxes. And that's following. Charges for services at 9.7%. State share revenue 5.59%. Building permits is 2.4%. Court fines 1.3%. This just shows you historically state revenue sharing. So it's been flat for the last 10 years here. You can see the only time we got an increase was due to the population increase in the 2020 census. And we're actually projecting the state's projecting a decrease slightly in our state share revenue for the next fiscal year. Total expenditures are also 21 million, so it is a balanced budget. You see the increase there of 443,170, which is 2.15% overall increase in the expenditure budget in general fund. It shows you by department, so public safety at 42%, public works 21%. Transfers out to other funds 17%, general government 9.5%, parks and rec just under 8%, and court at 2%. As Councilmember Wood mentioned, our fund balance policy, we're at $5.6 million in fund balance at the end of this year, which puts us at 26.6% of our fund balance of expenditures, so within our policy. Road projects, we have $5.4 million total of road funding this year. 2.1 million coming from the road village, 1.4 million from the state for Act 51. Interest income, 70,000. Federal grants for the Lake Shore from Fisher to Warner, just over $1 million there. Draw from fund balance and then a transfer from the general fund of 400,000. And capital projects, the $1.8 million transfer from the general fund. 150,000 interest income. Donations and grants of 3.3 million. That includes $2 million in pool donations, and 1.39 million in seawall grants from the state, the Great Lakes Commission. And the draw from fund balance of 10 sold the bonds for the pool this year. We're spending the money the next year, so that's the draw from fund balance with the pool bonds. What we're spending on sidewalk repairs, 200,000. That's strictly the trip hazard sidewalk repairs. We have additional 275,000 as part of the road projects for sidewalks. So a total of 475,000 on sidewalks. Technology improvements, 105,000. That's for new voting machines and mandated by the state. Vehicles and equipment, 871,000. And the public improvements of 14.4 million, primarily the pool and bathhouse. The police department for capital, they have body cam and dash cam replacements to 32,000. Like state required encryption on a radio system is 42,000. The replacement of patrol car radios, 2 additional LPR cameras, expansion of the security system, and replacing 2 patrol vehicles and 1 administrative vehicle. The fire department turnout gear replacement radio for L3. New compressor fill station for L3, and then HVAC improvements for the dormer parts that are stupid at night. We're also putting aside $100,000 for a new fire truck to begin this fiscal years. Public Works 2 replacement portable workman parts, new jump truck box, replacement sidewalk tractor, and $70,000 for a replacement working the building. Earmark, 107,000 for furniture for the pool and bathhouse, 18,000 for bleachers, and 10,000 for security cameras. Also within the building, resurfacing the wood floors in the community building, 30,000. New roof for the maintenance building, 125,000. Electrical rooms for the lighting at the tennis courts, 12,500. And of course, the pool and bathhouse at 12,000. We expect in the next fiscal year, so we expect the furniture.
Big numbers.
That's an overall, do you have any questions?
Questions for Finance Director Rowland? First, I'll give opportunity for City Manager Reside to comment, please.
I just echo my appreciation really to the Budget Audit Committee for their efforts and reviewing the budget and their input and guidance. Big thank you to Tim Rowland as our Finance Director. He worked very hard. Our department heads all worked hard. We met individually with each department and went through items line item by line item. And overall, it's really just roughly 2% increase in our overall general operations for our general fund for fire, public safety, public works, parks and recreation. So appreciate everyone's efforts.
Thank you. Before I turn to questions or comments from City Council members of the public, any questions or comments, please? Thank you. I'll lead off on this one, if I might. Some big numbers up there, but what an exciting time to live, work, or do business in the city of Grosse Pointe Farms, quite frankly. We're working very hard on everyone's behalf with the sewer separation project that's going to eliminate, by some estimates, up to 90% of basement flooding incidents. The project's going well. As you saw, we have $3 million in anonymous donations to this point for our pool project. Demolition is going great at Pier Park. If you haven't been down there recently, take a walk around. It's absolutely fabulous. Mr. Eastside, the demolition contractor, I've never seen a cleaner demolition progress or process, so to speak, underway. It's very exciting what's going to happen down at Pier Park. $5 million in road improvements this year is a huge number, and a balanced budget. We have local communities that don't have the good fortune that we have, and local mayors are disappointed in their budgets and are reducing benefits for their employees and reducing some types of services. And as I told our employees at a function at the end of last year, we have their backs. We're funded in our pensions. We continue to save money. We're looking forward and putting $100,000 for a fire truck in the bank. We're actually saving money and eliminating. So your millage dollars are getting great value. Our tax rates compared to other local communities are equal, if not lower. Quite frankly, we're the lowest for many years of all the Grosse Pointes and cities of Birmingham, things of that nature. We're not the lowest this year, but we're extremely close. So we're going to continue to deliver what we believe are the best services for those who live, work, and come to visit the city of Grosse Pointe Farms day in and day out. We're very, very proud of our staff. Finance directors are hard to find. Great city managers are hard to find. Public Works. We have a great team. We really, really do. With that, I'll entertain any questions or comments from members of council, starting to my left. Councilmember Jensen.
It's an excellent budget. Great job, Jim, Shane. Every year, though, it doesn't surprise me. It's just so well done. It's exciting. I think you just mapped to the Pier Park. You saw the players, obviously, the vast majority is the Pier Park. So I know Shane's thinking about becoming a lifeguard.
I told you, bring out your Speedo.
Way to the Speedo.
Yes, we better.
Mayor Pro Tem Soroka.
This is my first year on the Budget and Audit Committee, and it was really interesting getting to see the sausage made and more importantly, see how clean that process was. It was very well done. Tim does an excellent job, and it made decision-making in that discussion relatively easy. The only, I did have some, I'm curious about the Headley Roadback, and just if Tim, if you could just take for a second and explain a little bit about what that means and the connection to the broader challenge of like municipal finance in the state of Michigan. My understanding is that over time, as property rates increase outside the line of inflation, that Headley Roadback will become larger and larger for our community potentially. And that's a long-term challenge for communities like ours that are fully built out if the state doesn't actually address reforms to how we finance municipalities. Is that a fair assessment?
Give me 1 second, I'm gonna pull something up here.
I can bloviate for longer if that's all.
So if you see this little formula here, I'm starting to see, like you take your prior to your taxable value divided by your new taxable value. You take away the new construction and loss. So basically, we're allowed to keep any new construction or loss increase in taxable value. But anything like uncapping, so if someone buys a house and it uncaps and their taxable value goes way up, we don't actually get to keep that. That makes our overall mill rate roll back. So you can see the properties go up, but we're only going to keep the rate of inflation. So there's these big gaps between the assessed value and taxable value. And over time, it becomes an issue with funding city services when you can't increase those mill rates.
Yeah, and the exception to the rule is, of course, new construction, but there's limited new construction in a fully built out municipality like ourselves. And it's frankly, it's something that we need to address in Lansing. It's a conversation for Veronica and others. It's a big thorny question that was dealt with decades ago. And frankly, now we're having to pay the piper, so to speak. But it's just something I wanted to lift up because it's something that I think we may see more going forward.
I just mentioned too, the other problem with that formula, obviously, is when we see increases in the values of our property and we have to then roll back as property values go up, that has an impact, obviously on under our charter, we can levy 20 mils. But because of these rollbacks are, I think with the maximum we can generate for our general fund is closer to 17. So when property values go down, they roll back. But when you have a situation like we did in 2008, when you saw property values go down, there was no mechanism to be able to move up rate. So when they go down, they go down. And when they go up, they go down. So it's really a double-edged sword.
Thank you.
Councilmember Donovan,
No, other than, the work speaks for itself.
thank you. Councilman Ritchie,
No comment.
Councilmember Conrad Wilberding.
I just have a couple of comments.
Person.
I really echo the need for us to look into this Headley Amendment. When you're talking about some of these bills in Lansing, on housing affordability, wow. I live on Ridgemont, where most of the homes are pretty modest. We now have 3 homes that have been assessed for almost $1 million. That's unheard of. So the assessments have really gone up. With the Headley Amendment, you cannot do anything that was just explained by our city manager. We're really trapped. We're really trapped with this. And in the meantime, with our assessments going up and our millage going up, you have a lot of concern from local residents. And it's a complicated answer. The Headley Amendment was passed in the late 70s, early 80s. And so when you look at it, it really was never intended to progress on to this stage. It really was not supposed to be still here. Things have changed totally. So I echo what Neil is saying and others. And I thank you, Representative Pace, being here to hear some of this because it really, affordability, we want to keep some things affordable for new residents to come in. We don't want to push our senior citizens out, although our senior citizens very often, if they've stayed in their home and it's been homesteaded, they are, they have the luxury of Headley. But that's rare. That's rare. I know. There's a little different wedge there, but far more than and some others. But I do think that when we're looking at affordability, that really has to be addressed. And it can't be perceived that an affluent Grosse Pointe is asking for more property tax relief and feeling that Headley is improper. And I guess what I'm just saying is that there really has to be put into an equation here because it's just not the Grosse Pointes. It's St. Clair Shores, it's Harper Woods. There are a number of different communities that are in the same quagmire here. And so in order to really keep services up and up, you've got to have some millages. And when I first ran, the mill was 16. And I remember saying to my solicitation door to door, Grosse Pointe Farms has the least amount of millage of all the points. Well, that's not the case now. And we really can't do anything about it. But I do think that we do have some daylight in that when we have some of our different loans and bonds that have retired, that we can see the millage rate go back down. And that will be hopeful. Hopefully you don't have to raise another millage for something else. But I think that it's just so important for this council and through Tim and for what documentation that he has shown to really give a good explanation. When my husband opened up that tax bill, he was just absolutely shocked. We have a 3-bedroom. We built a new house. We have a 3-bedroom house. Our assessment is now at $940. That's not anywhere near what we paid to get it built. So you can see where there is a lot of confusion and some frustration when you look at what's going on with affordability and with our housing. So I just bring that out and with an example. And Tim, thank you to my colleague here who has done so much, and Neil on the committee. This is a terrible job that anyone do. But I mean, and I remember I kept your book, and I want you to autograph it to me. Because it is just the real piece of work. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Congratulations to you. And hopefully we can continue to explain why we have these tax increases. Thank you.
Councilmember Wood, any further comment?
No, I have a motion.
I'd entertain a motion to approve the proposed tax millage rates and budget for fiscal year ending June 30, 2027, please, sir.
My motion is that the city council approve the proposed tax millage rates and the budget as submitted, which is summarized in, or by Tim Rowland in his memo dated May 14th, 2026.
Motion by Councilmember Wood. Is there support?
Support.
By Councilmember Donovan. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Thanks again, Mr. Rowland. Congratulations. Thank you. Next, consideration to approve water and sewer rates for fiscal year ending June 30, 2027. Mr. Rowland.
For water and sewer rate, we have a proposed 3.5% rate increase overall. British Water Authority tapped along with us a 4.26% increase in our sewage charges. It was initially going to 5.5%, but they got so much feedback from local cities after the board meeting that they reduced it down to 4.26%. Consumption is estimated to slightly decrease to 49.8 MCF from 50.3 the prior year. We have significant capital improvements, including water main replacement, 250,000 in sewer lining, 300,000 for lead service replacements and catch basin rebuilds, and of course, a sewer separation project. It's just a historic water consumption in the city. So you can see back in 2012, we were over 65,000 MCU. And we've leveled off here the last 3 years, just below 50. So if we, hopefully we've leveled off to this level we'll stay at now, but we've seen quite a decrease over the last 10 years. And this shows you the different rates. So the water quantity rate increased by 3.1%. Water improvement rate, which is used to pay for the capital improvements, increased by 2.8. The sewer rate, which is the pass-through related water authority, 4.4. And sewer improvement is for a bond sale that the city had that's actually decreased by 1%. So of the variable rates here, the capital rate is a direct pass-through rate is about rate. Then we have a 3.5% increase in the flat charge. And this shows you what for the minimum bill of 7 units would be an increase of $5.08 per bi-monthly, for an equal total of $30.48 per minimum.
And that's the practical effect for our residents, sir.
That's for minimum bills.
Absolutely.
There's my slides are there for the average use of this, it would be. It's
$30.
about $30, yeah, I'd say.
Any public comment regarding the proposed water and sewer rates for year ending 2027? Public comment, please. Councilmember comment, Mr. Wood.
Tim, maybe for the value of the audience here and others, could you just differentiate between flat rate and minimum rate for minimum fee?
Yes.
What does flat rate take into account versus?
So the flat rate is basically, the ultimate rate is per fee, so it's the cost you get for a drop of water to your house to go to the water mains, the filtration plant. This is, you get away from the variable rate, but there's a lot of water, I get a flat charge. There's also the minimum charge, you charge a minimum of 7 units per billing cycle. So if you use anywhere from 1 to 6 units, you still get filled with that, that gives you that minimum bill.
Any further discussion from members of council regarding water and sewer rates? If not, I entertain a motion to approve those rates, water and sewer, for fiscal year ending June 30, 2027, please. Councilmember Wood.
Motion to approve the proposed water and sewer rate schedule to become effective for all bills rendered after July 1st, 2026, which includes an increase of $4.10 for 1,000 cubic feet of actual metered water usage and an increase of $2.21 per billing cycle in flat rate for service.
So support for Mr. Wood's motion.
Support.
By Councilmember Donovan. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Next, item 12, consideration of a request to approve recycling rates for fiscal year ending June 30, 2027. Mr. Reset, is this you or Mr. Rowland?
Either
Mr.
one.
Rowland?
I think, yeah, go ahead.
So we're planning on no change in their second rate, they're $12 per monthly water bill, so $6 per month. I will just point out that the current contract expires at the end of September, so we'll be having to go out and bid for recycling. We're anticipating seeing an increase in that fee, but we have a fund balance sufficient to cover for this year, so we're gonna keep the current fee flat.
Thank you. Any public comment regarding the recycling rates? I can tell you that the city of Grosse Pointe Farms is, of course, a member of the Grosse Pointe Clinton Refuse Disposal Authority, of which Mr. Burgess also has very significant experience. And we have our meeting tomorrow, and it's anticipated that we're going to get a hefty increase in proposed recycling rates coming up. For the benefit of the public, Grosse Pointe Farms is very good. Some communities are eliminating recycling, but the demand for recyclables and everything with the exception of certain metals and plastics is still way, way down. You would know that all of the glass that you recycle is not recycled. They pull it off of a conveyor belt and they put it into regular refuse because it's much more efficient to manufacture new glass for them as it is to break up existing glass and reheat it and make it into other glass type of projects. So the glass we recycle that we put into our bins, the wine bottles, the other containers are basically pulled off of the conveyor and thrown in the trash. The recycle rates are much, much higher than what we pay on an average basis to distribute, to throw away our waste, which is about $30 a ton. And we just had a new contract on that. So we have pretty good refuse disposal rates, but the recycling rates are really, really high and the market rate is really, really low. Just a point of reference. So I'd entertain a motion to approve. Is there any public comment, I'm sorry, regarding recycling rates? Hearing none. Any council member comments? Is there a motion to approve the recycling rates for fiscal year ending June 30, 2027, please? Councilmember Wood,
Motion to approve residential recycling rates of $12 for bi-monthly billing cycle per household for all bills rendered after July 1st.
thank you. Is there support for Mr. Wood's motion? By Councilmember Jensen. Any further discussion by council? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, the motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Next, consideration of a request to award our sewer maintenance contract, please.
I'll turn it over to Mr. Baca.
Thank you, Mr. Baca. Good evening, sir.
Sure.
Our Director of Public Service, who also does a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, so we have been working with the same contract for many years since I've been here with Produce. Originally with Inland Waters that did all our sewer cleaning, televising, and lining. They were bought out by a conglomerate. That conglomerate was bought out. And basically we felt that the level of service was also going down. So after discussion with HRC, we decided to bid it out again. We got 2 bids. Well, we're fairly close to each other. But in the end, we felt that SAC Construction had a superior bid. So based on the analysis by HRC, our recommendation is to approve SAC Construction LLC for the sewer maintenance contract.
Thank you. And what's the amount of that proposed? I have it here, 250,000 for the initial 1 year. Is that correct, sir?
Sewer maintenance.
Thank you. Is there any public comment with regard to the proposed approval of a contract with SAC Construction LLC in the amount of $250,000? Public comment? Council member comment? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve a 1-year contract with SAC, all caps, SAC Construction LLC, as described in the proposed memorandum to us dated April 30, 2026? So such a motion
So moved.
by Councilmember Donovan. Is there support? For Councilmember Ritchie. Any further discussion by council? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have several items on the consent agenda. 7, Is there any member of city council who would like to remove any item from the consent agenda? For the benefit of the public, those matters are a resolution approving the Wayne County Hazard Mitigation Plan. Next, to approve a special event application for the Grosse Pointe Art Festival. Next, to approve the appointment of Carolyn Bozaros for Communication Committee. Next, a proclamation recognizing June 5 as National Gun Violence Awareness Day. Approval of legal invoices, approval of April invoices, and a resolution authorizing our participation in the Clements Authority interlocal agreement done by our Department of Public Safety. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda, please.
So moved.
By Mayor Pro Tem Soroka. Is there support?
Support.
By Councilmember Donovan. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Next, reports. Well, let's start with this. We're receiving the quarterly financial report, the public safety report. I'll turn it over to our city manager, please, for his report.
I really don't have much to report, other than, up back by popular demand, this Sunday will be, another Touch a Truck event at Pier Park. And that was kind of tried last year. It was hosted by the Grosse Pointe Farms Foundation, and, it just was incredibly successful. And, we had a lot of kids coming out, and they love the police cars, they love the fire trucks, but they also love the tractors and the Vector trucks from DPW and everything in between. So we welcome our residents to attend this Sunday's event.
Thank you very much. Any other public comment or comment by members of council? Any further public comment? Is there any member of the public that would like to comment on a matter that has not been discussed?
John, are we are we on number 16?
We are on number 16.
I have a,
Okay, right after, please, if you don't mind, we've called for public comment. Thank you, ladies. Good evening. Name and addresses for the record, if you don't mind.
It was Laura Cody. I live at 422 Maison.
I'm sorry, 422? 432 Maison. And Cody, please, is spelled how?
CODY.
Lauren Cody, thank you very much. Good evening. And name and address, please, as well.
Say Stefano Snap, 232 McKinley Avenue.
Spell your last name for me if you don't mind. I'm sorry.
STEFANATOS.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies. The floor is yours. Welcome. We're glad you're here.
I wanted to say thank you for your continued support on the Wear Orange initiative for gun violence awareness. Thank you for approving the proclamation. And we are wearing orange because it is the color that is most associated with safety. And I can say that sending my daughter to Monteith for kindergarten in the fall, I feel very safe knowing that these conversations are happening in our. And I'm just very grateful for your support.
Thank you for being here, for your comment.
Thank you. I also wanted to say thank you for passing the resolution for Gun Violence Awareness Day. And I just wanted to take it one step further. If the city council would consider maybe like the Grosse Pointe Shore City Council and other places around our community have shown that support visually with orange ribbons around the community, orange lights, where you get public facilities, buildings, wherever you can, just, display that orange on that day. Maybe that week or however long we want to do it, but, the visual of seeing that tells our young people, especially who are under lots of stress and anxiety as to, their drills in school, shows them that we adults do care and that we are, doing what we can to protect them. So that's all. I just wanted to make that request that maybe you can display some orange bliss around the community.
No,
Thank you so much.
thank you for the recommendation regarding the orange bliss and for the others who are here with you in orange shirts. It's great to see. Thank you, ladies. We're glad you're here, sincerely. Other public comment, please. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Michelle White. I'm a Grosse Pointe resident.
An address, please, for the record.
1049 Yorkshire.
Thank you.
I'm here because I am the lead for Wear Orange here on the east side. And one thing that wasn't mentioned that I want to make sure you know is that this is a national movement, Wear Orange. It was started in 2014 and it's grassroots. And it is observed in all 50 states. You will see St. John's Hospital will light up their tower again orange this year for the 3rd time. You will see the Pistons putting it on their practice facility board. You will see the Spirit of Detroit will be wearing one of these shirts again this year for the whole weekend. And we invite you to come down on that Friday to see the Spirit of Detroit wearing it, or at least sometime during the weekend. We're also inviting you to our Flowers and Fun event, which is on May 28th, Thursday. And that starts at, I believe we have it down at 5 o'clock, yeah, 5 to 9. And it's basically an all orange event. So it's a little bit of orange food, it's orange lights that are for sale, orange flowers that you can plant in your garden. There will be ribbons available. We don't raise any money from this. Honestly, it's a work of the heart in this community because, as you know, we have been touched by gun violence in a very real way. And so we're inviting you to really be visible about it this year. I really thank you so much for passing the proclamation and for passing it in years prior. But the fact is the movement doesn't grow without visibility. And that's what we're looking for. So I hope you'll show up at our events. I hope you'll also be wearing orange. Oh, and there also is one more event, and that's on June 4th. We are hosting a movie at Grosse Pointe Congregational Church called All the Empty Rooms. There will be a panel discussion afterwards, and Don Schroeder, who sits on the city council in the Shores, is as a former trauma surgeon, is going to be sitting on that panel with a couple of other people. And so anyway, I hope you will be there at our events wearing orange and that you will really consider committing to turning your building orange, putting ribbons on, like really give that some serious thought. So thank you.
We are very, very grateful you sat through our meeting to express your opinions on that. It was very, very kind of each of you and those who haven't come forward. Thank you again. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other public comment, please? Council member comments. I'll start to my left. Councilmember Jensen.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem Soroka.
Number one, I'm thankful for the city residents who came out and support the Wear Orange movement and appreciative to the council for passing it. I'm also deeply hopeful that we'll have a discussion next month about the daycare proposal. I had a lot of great motions ready for us. Hopefully we'll get a chance to use them next time around, but I'm very excited. I've heard a lot of really positive things in the community about that opportunity. So hopefully we'll get a chance to pass it.
Councilmember Donovan.
On that note, I'd just like to say thank you to our Department of Public Safety for all that they did. The work shows for itself.
Councilmember Ritchie.
No comment.
Councilmember Conrad Wilberding.
Just really quickly, our communications committee met. Neil and I are co-chairs of that. And there'll be a mailing going out very soon. I think it's May 15th, by May 15th. That is just a little placard that is a reminder of what's going to be happening with the park and where we have reciprocity with the other parks for pool privileges. So that's on its way. It's in the mail. We made a lot of different suggestions with it. Derek was enormously helpful in putting it all together. And our committee had some really good input too, that we made some changes with it as well. So look for it. If we want to make sure that there's enough communication of what's going to be happening to your swimming schedule in summer.
Perfect. Thank you. Councilmember Wood, anything else, sir?
Well, I do, and I'd like to spend 5 minutes or so, if I could, to revisit the zoning variance request tonight by Mr. Cool. It seems to me he may have unintentionally discovered a solution to a problem that has been a problem for me for a while, and maybe for some of you others, that institutionally our city, our group, does not provide enough information to petitioners specifically for zoning board of appeals, applications and, information that they have so that they're prepared to come to us. Certainly, we've had lots of people who have come to us before. They fill out their application, they give us really terrific, practical difficulties, why substantial justice is being done. This is not a self-created hardship and that kind of thing. But many other times, I think you all agree that the mayor has invited folks to come up and they say, please explain your practical difficulty, and you get this deer in the headlights look, right? So, as I had said, I think that Mr. Cool here has hit on an issue that I'd really like to explore, and that is the use of AI, right? And he admitted that he uses one large language model to complete the application. And if you go through the very detailed Appendix A that he gave us, it's really terrific. And there are a couple of benefits that if we were all to, first of all, accept that AI is here to stay, right? That I think we can all agree to that. We should embrace artificial intelligence in some ways, and in particular, offering future applicants, petitioners, the ability to use the LLM that they want to use, Claude, Chat, whatever, I can't remember what Google's is, use that to their benefit. Now, what they'd have to do is they'd have to work with Matt. Matt could give them a form saying, here, fill out your address and the zoning district, and you'd have to fill out some things so that the AI agent knows what to respond to. But then the benefit to us is that we get this wonderful description of exactly what these guys are looking for. At the same time, I've got to say that Mr. Cool probably learned a good deal about what it was that a zoning application was all about, zoning variance application was about, and so he got educated. So what I'd like to either talk about tonight or maybe at a later time, or staff can go over this, but maybe we could incorporate the use of a form in our zoning board application, or we could give a form to the gentleman who comes to us and say, look, this is voluntary, but if you put all this information into chat, you're going to come back with some really terrific answers that the zoning board of appeals is going to appreciate. And it makes our job that much easier when we deliberate, right? So I'd like to know what folks have to say. I ran this by Bill before on Friday. He didn't immediately hang up on me. So I'm thinking that this might be an idea that we could explore and potentially in the future have embrace artificial intelligence as a tool that can be a benefit not only for the gentleman who stands before us or anybody else, and also us. Okay, so that is my.
Mr. Mayor, I have a comment.
Councilmember.
I do appreciate Councilman Leftwood comment. However, I would definitely be in favor of a detailed description of what goes into the package, but I am hesitant to suggest to anyone the use of a particular AI. What I like to use is the word research. I have spoken to applicants, and it's true, they're like deer in the headlights. And then I have instructed them to do the research, call Department of Public Service. But yeah, so.
Understood. Councilmember Conrad Wilberding.
I share with some concerns with AI. It's not that it has to be totally embraced. We don't, and we should not totally embrace it, in my opinion. I'm speaking as a former educator, a university educator, 2 universities, and as a former journalist too. I just, there are still some different issues with it. And here's the other part about it. The majority of people that come before us, we listen to them, they get educated about it, we get more input from them. But is it really that laborious for us to hear them? Is it really that bad that we have to ask them to use AI so they can have a better looking presentation to us? I think not. I think we're not at that point with city council or a municipality, particularly with Grosse Pointe Farms, that we just can't sit down and say, all right, look it, there's some problems here. You don't have a convincing case. Why don't you go back? And that's what we've normally have done. We've worked it through. Now we've denied some, but even with AI, we might deny that anyhow. So it's open to some different discussion, and I don't think that we're at a point where I'm not. I use it at times, but at times for research. And my boat, I mean, it told me what I was doing wrong. So it was great, but I have to tell you that in a municipality with elected officials and working with our community and our constituency, I don't want to totally embrace it. I want to hear from them. I want to have a discussion, and I want us as a city council, elected city council, to be able to, if we have to, educate them more on what zoning is all about. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Soroka.
Yeah, so this actually Lev raises, there's some really interesting questions that I hadn't thought about. I play a role at my place of work on our AI advisory committee. And so I spend a lot of time thinking about the ways in which we can use artificial intelligence, the way that we can frankly also keep humanity in the work that we do as well. Two thoughts, and I'm not sure it's necessarily the place of government to come in and say, like, do this thing. However, I do think in the case of this, of presenting these appeals and requests for variances, that we could be a little bit more helpful to applicants. I think number one, our current advice we give people about thinking through practical difficulties could maybe be a little bit more clear. Is there a way that we can explain the typical problem moments a little bit more clearly to folks so that they understand exactly what they want to do? Because so often you're reading that application, you're like, you probably have it there. You just need to think a little bit more expansively about how to get to that practical difficulty that is usually the biggest trouble point. But that said, to your point, there are things that we could do that don't say you have to use this, but instead could say, this is one thing that could help you. Right. And like you could fairly easily devise a prompt, for instance, that people could use to say, help me think through this, that I want to put a garage in my thing, and it can ask you a series of questions that can walk you through the answer. The other thing that I was just thinking about is, and this is for the hobbyists in the audience that are for some reason watching the YouTube video, I'm sure, but we now have with YouTube Archive a transcript of every meeting that we've had ever since we've been on YouTube, and you could essentially build a model that could have you could essentially argue your case for a variance in front of a modeled Grosse Pointe Farms City Council, which would be very cool. And you could see what the issues are and kind of preempt it. These are examples, though, of research, right? They're not answering the question for you. They're not writing for you, but they're getting a chance to think about it. Again, I don't think that's necessarily the place of the Grosse Pointe Farms City Council to do that, but those are things someone could do. But I also think the bigger thing for us is how can we make this a little bit easier for applicants? How can we make the trouble points a little less troubling? And maybe there are ways we can explore technology to do that, but I think you can do it without making the AI design for us.
Thank you. Councilmember Jensen.
I can see both sides. They're not cheating. It's not like their AI is writing them a paper that's going to get them a better grade. We all know that.
Some of that narrative was right on.
We all know that if it's used properly, if someone comes up and has something, Lev, you hit him right away. He knew where you're coming from, and they're having a hard time spelling the word go, but yet they got a perfect piece. Well, then you're going to know that they used AI. But if it was done in a manner, because we've all coached people, whether in here or out on the street or to our friends, on how to present that difficulty. If that process could be, expedited, where it would be beneficial to the applicant
Mhm.
and to the council, to the board, then we can still ask them questions. We can still make sure they understand what they're saying. We'll know right away when they start talking, if they know what they're saying, if they understand what they just said. So if it helps us, it helps them get to the point faster and more complete. I don't see a big issue with it, because I think we're gonna start seeing it more and more, and I think we'll be able to pick up on something that are really, really good that didn't come from the heart, it came from AI, so.
Thank you. Thank you all. A couple quick things from me. I've had a lot of appearances and meetings and the like on your behalf in the last several weeks on a wide variety of topics with our city manager and others have gone very, very well. Tell you, Grosse Pointe Farms is held in extremely high esteem by many communities who look to us for leadership on a wide variety of issues. I want to recognize our city attorney, Bill Burgess, the immediate past CEO of one of the largest law firms in the country, Dickinson Wright. He's worked his tail off for us recently on behalf of many issues, including 18850 Mack Avenue. So thank you for doing all of that. And one quick question, I'm going to put you on the spot, Director Hutchins and Deputy Director Rogers. With regard to our traffic enforcement campaign, I know we've received a lot of very good feedback, and we've had a lot of great interaction on Facebook, on Instagram and the like about it, the slowdown, things of that nature. I've personally observed, my family has observed a lot of flashing lights in the area. Tell us, please, how it's going.
Oh, pretty well. I mean, we're ahead of where we've been in past months. Most of the feedback you're getting is probably not for folks that are getting tickets.
Correct.
But it's been pretty positively received. I've gotten emails, reading social media comments and whatnot. We're ahead of where we normally are on warnings and citations. Sometimes it's, sometimes there's a warning and a citation issued on a stop. So if you're looking at the numbers we put out on the Friday update, they don't make sense. That's probably why. But, it's gonna be a heavy month. It's gonna be a heavy month. Hopefully after that, we'll see some things slow down, some people slow down.
Great.
That's the whole point.
And as our immediate past mayor, Mr. Thero said, who we spoke to last week on some things, please lock your car doors at night on your driveways. It doesn't matter what street you live on, okay? If you're close to Mac or you're 2 houses off of Lakeshore or you're on Edge, they will find your unlocked car. If your fob is in it, they will take your Land Rover. They will find your keys or golf clubs or your pistol. They will take it. Please, please, please lock your cars. With that,
Can I ask John a question, follow up?
Yes.
What percentage of the people who are getting these tickets so far, if you can tell, are from Grosse Pointe Farms?
Yeah, bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your gut? More than half.
Oftentimes people that are playing on a certain block, a certain street,
Yeah.
will set up a speed study, will write tickets, and it's folks further down the block that are doing speeding on the same street.
It's the residents. With that, anything else? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Councilmember Wood, support.
Support.
By Councilmember Donovan, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned at 8:45. Ambitious agenda. Well done, everyone. Go Pistons. Go Pistons. What's the score?